So before we get into this video about Lonzo Ball and the Chicago Bulls, I want to promote something. I just uploaded my Giannis Antetokounmpo film essay on my new main channel. It's a video where I talk about why the concept of a next Giannis Antetokounmpo is kind of impossible, and then give you a hypothetical of this impossible prospect that would be the next Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if that's something that would interest you, go check it out. Link to my channel and the video down below. Go like the video, go watch it if you're interested in it. Go subscribe. I'm almost at 300 subscribers, so if we can reach 300 subscribers by the end of August, I would be really happy. So again, go like and subscribe over there. Link in the description below and in the pinned comment. Would really appreciate that. Also make sure you like and subscribe on this video. So yeah, but with all that shameless plugging out of the way, let's talk about Lonzo Ball and the Chicago Bulls. Lonzo Ball signed a 4-year, $85 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. It was via a sign and trade. The Pelicans did receive Tomas Satoransky, Garrett Temple, and a second-round pick, and obviously the Bulls got Lonzo Ball. The Bulls fleeced the Pelicans in this deal, and I'll talk more about the Pelicans side of this, hopefully in another video, because I have some things to say about that whole thing going on over there. But for Chicago, this was like the big thing everyone was talking about. It's something people have been talking about since 2019. Jacob made a whole video about it in 2019 talking about how he would trade the 7th pick for Lonzo Ball. And in hindsight, yeah, you probably would have done that at the time, and now they finally are able to get him. And they didn't even have to give up that much to get him. I mean, Tomas Satoransky, he's a fine, rotation guard, I would say. Same with Garrett Temple, but he's actually a wing, not a guard. They're both fine players, but you definitely would give them up for someone like Lonzo Ball, and the second-round pick is a second-round pick. This addresses the biggest need that Chicago Bulls needed, which was a point guard. You'll get the guards on the roster right now. You have Kobe White, who, quite honestly, I don't even know if is he even that good, like, really, but okay, that's a bit far. But I still think he has a chance to grow, but right now he isn't that good. And he's more of a 2 guard anyways. He's not really a point guard. And he's more of a 6th man. That's kind of the role that you see him developing into if he ends up working out. So really, that's not a good fit next to Zach LaVine, having another scoring guard. Obviously they trade Tomas Satoransky. And they did draft Sumu, who I really like. I think he has a chance to be a very good backup guard for them. But, you're not going to just not take Lonzo Ball because you drafted Sumu in the 2nd round. Lonzo Ball is a very good player. I think he's better than probably give him credit for, to be quite honest with you. I think he fits very well with Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, because while they're very much like scoring offense kind of players, Lonzo's a great passer. He's unselfish, he's willing, and he wants to make those around him better. And having a player like that next to, Nikola Vucevic, and especially a Zach LaVine, is very much something that you want to have, and they get that with Lonzo Ball. I really like him, what he did this year. He was very good. 14.6 points per game, 4.8 rebounds a game, 5.7 assists per game. Like, by far the most points he's averaged in his career. It's very close to what he was doing at UCLA. It's actually the most points he's averaged since UCLA. So that tells you something there. His rebound numbers were a bit down. Usually with Lonzo, you expect like 7 rebounds per game. The assists were down a bit. But it was still new 6, so I'm fine with that. And when you watch him play, the passing was much more evident than what numbers suggest. He was a really good 3-point shooter this year, 37.8% from 3 on 8.3 attempts, which is very good considering that, early on in his career, he was kind of hesitant, I would say. Actually, I don't even know if hesitant is the word. It's weird because there were times where, he would take a lot of threes, but then there were games that he wouldn't take a lot of threes. So he was very inconsistent. I still think there was inconsistencies this year, but he was much better than years prior, and he did it on like the best volume of his career as well. And he significantly improved as a free throw shooter as well, 78.1%. Still not getting to the line nearly enough, but nonetheless, the numbers there are improving, and overall he's just been better than what he's been in the past. The thing with Lonzo was never about, what he could do. Because what he could do was always rebound, he could always pass, and he can always defend. He's a very good defender. It was just about the scoring. That's the one thing he couldn't do. It wasn't like he wasn't capable. There were flashes of him being capable of scoring. There were flashes of him being able to shoot, but he's never able to put it all together. I don't even know if he's quite put it all together yet, but he's taking a massive stride in the right direction this past year at only 23 years old. He took a stride as a shooter, both in efficiency and volume. He took a stride being more aggressive. I still think he's a bit passive, but he was way more aggressive than in years past. And I think that, I think the Warriors should have kept him. Let's talk about that first. Because he's a great fit with Zion Williamson. But for Chicago to get him, this was like, okay, best fit of free agency. If this happens, this is a great fit. Everyone was talking about this for years, and it's finally happening. And I think it's like the first time that like people have talked about like a potential move like this happening for years, and then it does actually happen, and it's a good fit. Like, that's not something that's very common, I'll be quite honest with you. And again, because you have this kind of passing guard next to Zach LaVine, that's the best fit. It's the best, point guard that Zach LaVine's probably played with since Ricky Rubio. And he's also a very good defender as well. So you get someone that can play defense, he can pass, he can rebound, and he makes those around him better. That's what Chicago needed, and that's literally everything Lonzo Ball does. And he's improving in other aspects of his game as well. I think with Chicago, he's definitely the starting point guard. Let's get that out of the way. That's not up for debate. Kobe White's not taking his spot. I would assume he's not taking the spot either. And I think what to expect, like, stat-wise, I think, the point per game production, I don't know how much of a dip it will take. Because, when we say, but he's going to be playing with Nikola Vucevic, who can put up, like, 24, 25 points. Zach LaVine can put up 25 plus easily. But, like, he was also playing with, like, Zion Williamson, who averaged, like, 26. Ingram, who averaged, like, 23. And Williams, and he was still almost putting up 15 points. So I don't think that his point per game production will go down that much. But I do think maybe the assists go up a little bit, and the rebounds probably will go up a little bit as well. And so I definitely think that probably around 13-14 points per game, 6-7 rebounds. I definitely think those numbers are going to go up. I think the assists around 6 to 7 as well. I think that's a very good, and around like 42, 38, like 78 splits, which is basically what he did this year. I know it's a fair baseline to have. I'm very excited about this fit. I know Bulls fans have been talking about it. It's like the one thing they wanted this free agency, because they didn't have their draft pick. They traded for Nikola Vucevic, which I think honestly was worth it, because I don't know if they're going to get a player at 8 that's as good as Vucevic. And you look at what they were looking at after that, because like they had a second round pick, they drafted out of the Sumo, like, that's fine, but that's not like a big move. They made a big move. They got their guy. They got Lonzo Ball, and I think this, if he's healthy, because again, health is another big concern, but if he's healthy, which I, again, can't really predict, but I'm still more encouraged than you would probably think, even with the injuries. I think this is the best, like, fit of free agency. I think this was what they've always needed in Chicago, especially since they started to build this kind of core, or attempt to build this core around Zach LaVine. And I'm excited. I think this, honestly, if they keep Kobe White, because Kobe White might be gone, they might trade him. I don't know what they're going to trade him for, but if they keep Kobe White could kind of fit into a 6-man role that he's probably more fit to be, and that could help his development, I believe, as well. I'm very excited for Chicago. I thought they had a chance to be a playoff team last year. I didn't anticipate, Wendell Carter Jr. not being as good as he was. Lauri Markkanen just kind of flat out being bad, I'll be quite honest with you. Kobe White not taking the step in the right direction that I expected him maybe to be able to. And it's disappointing because Zach LaVine had such a great year. He had one of the most efficient guards scoring seasons I've ever seen. Like, he was absurdly efficient. And to see that season, he made the All-Star team. I was happy for that because he more than deserved it. But, you know, to see that great season kind of go to waste and they don't make the playoffs, that frustrated me. I think Lonzo Ball is a step that could get them to the playoffs. I think if he's healthy, and the whole team's healthy, let's get that out of the way, and they play well, they're a playoff team. And not just like, oh, they kind of earn that play-in. I think they have a chance to break a 6 seed if everything works out for them. Free agency obviously isn't over yet. We have to see what's going on, you know, with Thad Young, with Kobe White, to see what they potentially trade him for, if they even trade him. But, you know, I'm excited for the Chicago Bulls. I definitely think that, you know, I've been talking for years like, oh, they have a chance to make the playoffs, and they don't make the playoffs. And then the next thing comes in, they have a chance to make it, you know, they don't make the playoffs. Maybe it's the same this year. I'm hoping that it isn't, and I'm kind of confident that it won't be the same this year as well. But that's all I really had to say. If you like these, you know, podcast style videos, subscribe. I also make draft content on this channel. Also, go check out the Giannis Antetokounmpo basketball film essay as well. But yeah, that's all I had to say. Have a nice day.